Hi, I'm Steph Chavez. Today we're going to talk about creating library data, components, symbols, cells, and how you manage that data within your library. So when we talk about creating components within your library and managing that data, the first thing you have to think about is your component land patterns and the components in general. They have to be correct and they have to be accurate. It's imperative that you design them at a minimum to an IPC standard such as 7351 or a standard within your company that may come from years of lessons learned. Again, it is important that the components are accurate and correct. The second thing that comes to mind when you talk about the components in your library is how you manage that data. It's imperative that you do manage the data so that way you're not potentially reusing components that have errors in them. And that way you can manage the data so you know which components are used where. So if there's any obsolete issues that you got to deal with and a component needs to change, or in the evolution when you're getting feedback from manufacturing to improve the quality of your design within the footprint or the land pattern within your design data. If library component data is not managed properly, the increased potential for errors to exist or to be replicated increases dramatically. It's imperative that you manage the data properly and you control the data so that way you know what's used, where it's used, and what it's used on. The industry best practice for creating library parts and managing it is to establish a process within your company or your ecosystem. Then, when you create your parts, you want to either create it using industry standards at a minimum, such as IPC 7351, or by utilizing homegrown lessons learned that are proven to have success downstream, that is in collaboration with your CCA assembly house. There's also tools available that you can use, such as off-the-shelf or third-party tools that will help create library parts, as well as you have the ability to purchase these library parts that have the guarantee to be accurate and correct as well. Proper library management and component creation is very important and has a high value of return if you do it correctly and you manage it correctly. With today's complex designs being challenging enough as it is, just trying to meet your customer requirements, eliminating any potential variables such as library component issues is key. The goal is to try to make everything as correct as possible and accurate as possible so that way your end product has a higher potential for success and there are less processes or less issues downstream in manufacturing or assembly. The evolution of creating and managing your library data has come a long way. Today we have the ability to use automated tools to help us create these library parts, as well as we have the opportunity to use third-party tools that can also aid in building these library parts, as well as you have the ability to purchase these parts from a third-party vendor where you can simply send in your BOM and then within a few hours or a few days you'll get library parts sent back to you that are guaranteed and backing by their accuracy and correctness. Thanks for tuning in. I hope you now have a better understanding of the value of managing and creating component data within your library.